Hey guys, I'm Bryson here. Welcome to my show. And today we're about to take a look at someone that makes around $280,000 by being a real estate appraiser. But obviously, that is not the going rate for that job. But this guy also has around 12 properties. So I want to find out exactly how this guy makes $280,000 every single year. But on top of that, also how he goes about spending his money. If I'm making a guess here, educated one, I think he does a pretty good job. Usually, when you know how to make money, multiply money, create passive income, and you also have a job, usually you tend to know exactly how budget works. But I could be wrong. Let's find out. On top of that, I post videos on this channel every single day. So make sure to also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. And on top of that, also destroying the like button. Without further ado, let's find out exactly how this guy from Texas making $208,000 spends his money. And that is a lot of money.
A lot of people will tell you this, is that cash is trash and it's better to have your money invested in something that's going to produce income. So I'd rather have it in real estate.
Yeah, that is very true. In some cases, cash is good also to have it for emergencies and to have it there just in case something happens, obviously for opportunities, but just having cash sitting around and not making you any money, it's kind of like a little dumb, right? And the answer is, what you want to do is basically you want to have money work for you. If you work for money and that money's just sitting there, then it's kind of like, why are you there? You want to have that money work for you, create more income for you, and then you get into the passive income route, real estate, stocks, businesses, whatever you want to get into. But the point is, make that money work for you.
Or in equities or any other asset rather than cash itself.
All right, this guy is 35 years old, lives in Texas, and makes $280,000. If you ask me, that is a pretty solid run, okay? That's pretty solid if you ask me.
My name is Terrence Bilodeau. I'm 35 years old and I'm a real estate appraiser in Fort Worth, Texas.
By the way, a real estate appraiser is someone that goes into properties and appraises them, saying like, hey, this is the value of it based on this. And then the bank considers that and then basically gives you a loan based on that person's appraisal. Terrence usually works 7 days a week. He might actually love that job. I don't judge it whatsoever though.
What keeps me motivated in real estate is that it can evolve over time. So I can start off as a landlord and have a tenant, and then that tenant over time can become a buyer, which just happened in one of my properties last year.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. So basically, he uses it as, hey, you can be my tenant, but hey, I'm also an appraiser. I can help you find a property. And then he also uses that to basically go ahead and create like this net of income. I like this.
A tenant who ended her lease and bought a home that was $640,000, and I made a 3% commission as a realtor when representing her as her buyer's agent. Right now,
that is very smart.
11 houses, but I still have about $1.7 million in debt, which includes...
Wow, so he has 11 houses at age 35, and on top of that, around $1.7 million in debt. That's not that bad, dependent on how leveraged he is. And on top of that, dependent on the passive income he actually makes, and dependent if the properties pay for themselves or not. It all depends.
Includes my personal home that I live in. So I have 10 rental properties, 1 vacant lot, and then my personal home that I live in.
Okay, so in total, he has around 12 properties, 10 rental homes, his personal home, and also a vacant lot. So it's kind of like 12 properties.
My biggest monthly splurge is on Hiatus, which is like a spa, and you can get a monthly facial or monthly massage there.
I feel like everyone that like makes a lot of money usually has like a splur, right? They have like this thing to spend money on that they don't need, but they actually do need, because basically it kind of balances everything out. Because if you're working 7 days a week, like you need a break from it basically. So I don't judge like, hey, I want to go into a spa and do this. For me, that's kind of like going on Amazon and buying a few things and kind of like building something. I love doing that stuff with computer parts, and that's kind of like how I splurge in a sense. But this is nice too. This is nice.
It's worth it to me because I work a lot and I need a place to relax and kind of let go physically.
Exactly.
I've got one at the TCU gym nearby, and I pay $50 a month for that. And then I have a membership at HotWorks, which is $30 a month. I feel accomplished if I can go 3 times in the week. I don't really spend a lot of time cooking.
Now here is his entire budget, and he invests around $5,000 every single month. And to me, that's awesome, because that money is going to keep growing and growing and growing over time. And then guess what? That money is also going to create more passive income for you. Mortgage and utilities, $2,195. I think you can afford it. Plus, it's less than 1/3 of his income. Insurance, $1,077. That's healthcare, life, disability, and also umbrella policy. I get that also. Food, $1,000 a month. I think that's insane for like him and his sister, whoever he lives with. But the answer is that's crazy. That's way too much money on food. Debt repayment $500, and in the footnotes it said that basically that's for Home Depot, Green Sky, and also air conditioning or whatever. The answer is if you're paying interest on that debt, it could be bad, okay? And I don't like that, like having debt and then basically paying interest unless it's offset by something else. I get that. Miscellaneous, $300. That's not miscellaneous. It's kind of like really expensive. His phone bill, his gas, subscriptions, and also pet expenses. I think he does have a lot of things he doesn't really need. But however, he has a very high income, and it's actually not as big of a problem because basically he's investing the bulk of his money. So I'm not that mad at this because basically he can afford it. But the answer is I'm still mad about the food. I'm still mad about the phone bill is super high. The subscription's kind of high. And the debt repayment, if he's paying interest on it, I might not be happy with it. But overall, this budget right here, it's awesome.
I usually go out to eat to save time for myself in terms of prep and in terms of shopping for groceries.
Okay, so basically that's why he spends so much money. He spends a lot of money on eating out.
Avoid drinking alcohol because it doesn't make me feel very good and it costs a lot. And in general, whenever you drink, you tend to make poor decisions, so I just avoid it.
I feel the same exact way about like drinking and stuff like that. I just don't do it. One, it doesn't taste good to me, and two, I don't like losing my senses, and three, I don't get the point, okay? It's like a health risk.
I got into real estate appraising because I had a friend who was a real estate appraiser, and I went on a few assignments with him, and I discovered I really liked the process. And I also was going to school at UTA, and I got my marketing degree, and I couldn't find a job in the...
Wow, a marketing degree. It's one of those jobs, it's kind of like one of those degrees. It's kind of like very weird, right? Because marketing is something you can learn without a degree. And when you graduate, usually 4 years later, like a lot of those things are kind of like obsolete. You know what I mean? Because like 4 years, like renovations and innovation like moves very quickly. So it's kind of like a format that I don't get the point, you know, but if you get into the right company, you might make a lot of money.
I do both real estate appraisals and work as a realtor.
The majority of Terrence's income comes from appraisals. Okay.
So each month my tenants pay me $15,800 in rent.
Wow. Each month his tenants pay him around $15,000 in rent. I wonder how much of that is actual profit.
$2,500 of that is positive cash flow. And
okay, so $2,500 of that is positive. I should really stop pausing the video, okay? But the answer is $2,500 out of $15,000. I get it. You know, eventually it'll keep increasing over time, but $2,500, not that bad. Terrence pays himself $20,000 a month. His properties are worth $2.75 million. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That is awesome. At the age 35, that is awesome.
So here's the master. It's very zen-like, kind of like a hotel in a way. I've got
oh, he has a gaming PC. Look at that. That's pretty cool.
Desk in here where I do my appraisal work. And
that is so... You can tell, like, everyone has something usually they splurge on. If you guys notice, like, a few clips back, he has, like, a gaming PC with, like, all the RGB and stuff like that. In reality, if you're just doing, like, appraisal work, there is no need whatsoever to have something like that, you know? But I get it also. I get it.
I used to be a professional video game player. I used to play a game called Dark Age of Camelot and Counter-Strike.
Okay, so that is why. He was a professional video game player. That's why he has an expensive PC down there. I knew something was going on.
In Dark Age of Camelot, I got to level 50 and I got bored of it and I just sold my character for I think $1,500 and went on to something else. And I feel like in real estate it can be similar. Once you make enough money, you kind of just sell out or you retire. And so
that is awesome. Yeah, I think everybody has like an exit plan. You know, exit plans are very important. Usually people say like, hey, you don't want to have an exit plan. But in reality, I met this guy that basically built a portfolio of around like 10 laundromats, right? And basically he had an exit plan saying like, hey, you know what? Once I get to 10 or 15, I'm basically gonna sell all of them and retire. He made like around like I think it was like $5 to like $6 million, and then he retired right then and there. Boom, everything is fine. You can live off that money for like ever. And the idea is very similar, okay? You either want the passive income or you want to use the capital to use it to retire. But the whole thing is that all you really want is financial freedom. So I like this guy a lot so far.
It's kind of my goal. I'm not level 50 yet, but I'm probably like level 20 and I'm getting there.
I like the way he views life, you know, like real estate, everything. He views it like a game, you know? So I'm not level 50 yet, level 20. I'm getting there, and step by step, we'll see what happens. I like this strategy because it plays like, you know, he's playing a game and it makes him like motivated also. I enjoy this.
So this is the room for like relaxation and stretching and exercise. If I don't have time to go to the gym, I'll come here and do some stretching and some basic workouts.
So far, checked out health, checked with the stretching stuff and also the gyms. Also wealth, check. There's 4 pillars. You have health, wealth, love, and happiness. Seems pretty happy. I don't know about the love part, but that's like optional depending on what he wants to achieve. But seems like a pretty balanced life.
What initially prompted me to want to lose weight was I thought I want to get a girlfriend, but I don't think any girl's going to like me the way I look right now, so I need to lose some weight. So I kept trying to lose weight, but I
there you go.
didn't really get a lot of progress from trying on my own. So I Googled how to lose weight and I figured out that there's 3,500 calories in a pound. And I just did the math and it kept me motivated. And over the course of 6 months,
That's insane. 3,500 calories in a pound. That's crazy. So you have to burn 3,500 calories to burn off and shut off a pound. Ah, my God, and you can put it on like this, you know, but just like shaving it off is the difficult part. But dieting, eating healthy makes it a lot easier.
lost 90 pounds. After losing weight, it motivated me to go to school because I thought that would be the next step for me to get a better job for myself.
That's awesome. You know, that's why I appreciate, for example, once you get your health together, usually it leaks into your entire life. You know, you get healthy, then you want to achieve something else, and then something else, something else. I like this a lot. I like this a lot. It's a good story.
So when I was growing up, there were times when we didn't have enough money to pay rent or utilities, so our electricity would get cut off. We always had a fallback, which was my grandma. So we moved to Fort Worth from time to time, and that's where I always had like a steady base.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Not the what happened, but it's awesome that, you know, he has that story, and then he also has a story of like, hey, here's how I turned this bad situation into something good. I respect that a lot.
And that motivated me to be a lot more conservative in terms of how much money I spend versus how much money I save. I don't have a savings account, and while I don't have it in terms of liquid savings all the time, I have a lot of it in real estate, which produces cash flow, which to me is a better alternative to.
All right, so that's kind of dangerous, you know, and that's when leveraging gets a little bit more difficult. You know, leverage can usually sometimes take down a lot of smart people, and Warren Buffett says that all the time. You know, the answer is he needs an emergency account with at least like 6 to sometimes even 12 months worth of emergencies. In his case, it would be a lot of money. It'd just be sitting there. I get that, but the idea is you need that in case anything happens, and in this case, pandemic alert, yeah, it happened, and probably he was affected by it, like seriously, okay? So that's number one, right? And then you also need some cash on the side just in case anything happens to you. Not a lot of it, obviously, but just some cash on the side in case anything does pop up, okay? That's what I think when it comes to like, hey, saving. But usually the only time I save money, like a lot of money, is usually just to go out there and invest money, honestly, right? Because cash is just like there depreciating every single day. Terrence plans to put $40,000 into his SEP IRA for 2019 tax year. By the way, that's something you actually get when you're like self-employed. The benefit of that right there is pretty solid. I looked it up. However, for me, it doesn't make that much sense. So he currently has $435,000 invested between an SEP and also brokerage accounts. That is incredible. That's incredible. So I'm not sure if they're going to talk about it here, but he should be getting some passive income from that also.
My original goal when I started in appraising was to make $80,000 a year. So in my first year when I billed $145,000, I was pretty happy with the outcome.
Okay guys, I think that's the end of the video. It's going to go way too long. But basically, the first year he did like appraising, he billed around $145,000, right? And he pays himself every single month around $20,000. So I get where the salary comes from, and I get why it's so high, because basically he's a self-employed person. He pays himself a salary. I get all of that. But overall, guys, okay, what I think about Terrence, I think Terrence is pretty solid, and it's something that everyone should kind of shoot for. For example, having a nice budget. He splurges every now and then. I get that. I don't like the spending money on eating out so much, subscriptions. I don't really like any of that stuff, and also the debts. And I don't like the over leveraging, but I like the idea of having real estate and putting your money to work. And I also respect that a ton. So overall, Terrence gets a solid like 7.3 from me, to be honest with you. Like, it's pretty solid. But comment down below and let me know, guys, what job do you have right now, and how can you use that job to basically create for yourself some more income? In this case, he's a real estate appraiser, but he also is a real estate agent, and on top of that, he also goes out there and buys property. So right there, he made 3 linear, right? streams of income in a sense, okay? But comment down below and let me know, what can you do when it comes to your job? Comment down below, let me know. And as always, if you enjoyed this video right here, guys, well, like this video and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. And on top of that, also follow my Instagram, Bryson. And before I go, if you want to watch another video on how this couple spends their money while living in San Diego, well, here's that video right here. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not happy with it. And also look at my face right here, around. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace.